Welcome back to live action here at the Banks Homes Riverside. Just missed Johnny Bairstow launching one for 6. Parkinson coming back nicely.
No two there, Ben.
Pushed away out into the leg side. Apologies for loss of pictures there, but there's been a massive power cut at the ground. Dot ball. This one's pulled away out into the leg side by Lythe. Thinking of a second. And Will Rhodes does well. Just trying to reconnect all of our systems here, so apologies. We'll try and update you as soon as possible with the scores. It's a good finish to the over from Parkinson. Eight. So 64 for 1 is the score off 8 overs. Good little period in the game for Durham. You can see there the crowd. Bathed in sunshine across in the LNER stand.
The Spin Twins are at it again.
Yeah, Souter started off really nicely.
Keeping to 1.
Just trying to get everything up and running as much as we possibly can for you. Huge apologies.
Yes, Nathan Souter. Johnny Bairstow looking to hit him out of Banks Homes Riverside. Completely misses it, skips straight past it and has to turn around and walk back to the dressing room. Nathan Souter has his first. Yorkshire 65 for 2. The Spin Twins are at it again. Nathan Souter has his first.
Big moment in the game. Johnny Bairstow walking away. Much to Joe Rushworth's delight, I'm led to believe. 65 for 2 now. Will Luxton, the new batter, to the crease. Nathan Souter, the man, again. Bairstow looks...
He's not happy.
A little bit disgruntled with life at the moment. Cruel cameraman and producer keeping it fixed right on him there as he's... Well, spits his dummy just a little bit.
Certainly a passionate character is Johnny.
Good player.
Durham
Big
happy,
wicket.
Durham happy to see the back of him. Will Luxton out at number 4 for the White Rose, who have been kept relatively quiet since the power cut, rather than the power play, the power cut.
Ooh. Oh, brush.
I'm here all week, unfortunately.
It's true. Back on Sunday.
Luxton turns this one away for a single.
Just wondering if the floodlights are going to be turned back on here. Part of the ECB regulations are that floodlights must be on in the second innings of these games. However, yet to come back on. I'm not sure if that was what caused the power outage or not. But there's still enough natural light for certain to make it a headache. Well, Rob's snuck behind in the shade, but I'm got the sun blaring into my old eyes. Nathan Souter going about his work beautifully.
Just going to be another single out to Jimmy Neesham.
A little rebuild required here, but they can't take too long. Scoreboard is back and operational, much to the cheers of the crowd. You've been ahead of the game here. That's cut away and doesn't quite carry to Zach Folkes behind point. Lyth just settling down a little bit now. 25 now to him from 24. Just trying to gather our thoughts and gather our breath, and big moments happening. 9 done, 69 for 2. Durham really starting to squeeze Yorkshire here. As you can see from your screens there, the rate required now is above 11. So every dot crucial here for Durham as Parkinson continues. An attempted sweep is top edged.
Hit him.
And Lyth will pick up a single. Lights are starting to come back on slowly.
It's all part of the mind games, Ash. In the Battle of the North.
Battle of the North, I like that. Sounds like out of Game of Thrones.
Hopefully this has a more positive
Waiting
ending.
for Sean Bean to run out with a sword or something.
Hopefully this has a more positive ending for Durham fans than maybe the end of Game of Thrones did.
Yeah. How did they got on the final Durham in Game of Thrones? Beat by the dragons. I actually miss Game of Thrones. Haven't really got into any of the spin-offs.
Never watched it.
Have you not?
Nah. I'm not. That's not really up my street.
What's wrong with you?
That is slog
It's in the air.
swept.
Hanging in the air for an eternity. Matthew Potts gets his paws around it. Takes the catch. Luxton goes.
Spin twins. Spin twins at it again for Durham. Callum Parkinson and Nathan Salter doing the damage in the middle overs.
See what good catch into the sun that.
Did he have?
I don't think he's got his sunnies on.
He's
I
got
might
his
be
sunnies
wrong.
on top of his cap.
Yeah. Sums Matthew Potts up, really. Taught him everything he doesn't know. Good catch in the end. That hung in the air for an eternity. Big wicket again. Luxton's been a useful player. Now see Wharton come to the crease. Underway immediately, Wharton. Good fielding in the deep again from Potts. Full toss whipped away into the leg side, but again it'll just be a single, so no damage done. They're good over a wicket and just the 5 from the over from Callum Parkinson. Durham starting to turn the screw now. Yorkshire needing 12 and over to get home from here. They need 120 from 60 deliveries. At the halfway stage, Rob Rush, after a really good start from Yorkshire, Durham will be happy how they've got back into this innings.
Absolutely, Durham hold all the cards right now. You can see a white rose flag in the Dapperbet stand being flown, but right now Durham are firmly in the driving seat as Jimmy Neesham is going to come back into the attack from the Lumley end. So switch of ends for him. Nathan Salter picking up the wicket in that final in his last over. Callum Parkinson then backing it up as well. really Durham just looking to apply the squeeze. They would love if Adam Lyth found his way back to the sheds.
Oh, what a shot that is.
Instead, he's going to find a 6 over the top of Will Rhodes at mid-off.
Similar to a shot Neesham played when he was batting. It's been picked up over mid-off and dispatched for 6. Mid-off up in the circle. Good calculated risk that from Adam Lyth.
Going to need a few more of them to drag Yorkshire back into this game. Cut away through point, but there is a fielder out there.
If the power cut affected the floodlights at Ropery Lane just up the road, Chesley Street taking on Benwell Hill in the T20 qualifier tonight. Just going to have a little look at the scores, see how my boys are doing. Nicely in the absence of their coach, ironically. I'll let you decide whether that's the norm or not.
Bouncer pulled from Wharton. He's going to pick up 4 as well.
Tell you what, Nathan Souder didn't pick that up at all in the deep.
Yeah, Will Rhodes had to do most of the running round from long on, but Wharton able to get his first boundary. And Yorkshire currently 11 off the first 3 balls of this Neesham over.
Oh, he'd given up Lyth. Outstanding work from the skipper, who is still on the floor.
Dedication to the cause.
That was excellent work. And he'd have loved nothing more than to run his old teammate out.
Just an extra blot in his book.
Excellent fielding. That's what Durham need here. Keep the pressure on. It's good over so far, 12 from it.
Oh.
Jimmy Neesham almost begging the umpire not to give a wide there. Umpire Lloyd not having any of it whatsoever as they have a little giggle to each other.
There was a few down at Leicestershire that Neesham felt particularly aggrieved by. A couple of weeks ago, he thought that they weren't wides and they were given.
That was almost an appeal there, not to give a wide. I love it.
Bringing Graham Clark up into the circle.
I'm not sure I've seen that before.
Good follow-up. Adam Lyth playfully goes to send the ball away.
It's not a bad first day for India in the test match at Headingley. 359 for 3.
Am I correct in saying that those 3 wickets are all from Durham bowlers?
I don't know who got the third.
I believe Ben Stokes might have 2 and Cast might have 1.
Well, then I believe you're correct, if that's the case. I believe Ben Stokes also won the toss and decided to bowl. Oof.
Oh. It's gone through Nathan Souter. Well stopped on the fence. So expensive over from Neesham. Yorkshire cashing in as they need to do so. Durham need to follow that expensive over up with a relatively tidy one from Callum Parkinson.
Yeah, it's a good over for Yorkshire, but it's really just what they need.
There's nothing like it wasn't over the top. That's sort of the par they have to go at now.
They're going to have to challenge Callum Parkinson, who's back into the attack from the Finkel end. 3 overs, 1 for 26 for the left-arm spinner.
Catch
Immediately
him.
hits that straight down long on's throat. Ben McKinney is not going to drop it. Didn't get under it. Parkinson celebrates. Durham have 4. Yorkshire 89 for 4. They need somebody to go with. Adam Lythe here. 37 from 31. A little left-handed opener. Yet to find a partner to really do major damage. Milan with 21. Bairstow with 19. Luxton now. Wharton going for 3 and 6 respectively. And Will Sutherland, the overseas player, comes in to bat now with it all to do for Yorkshire.
I think McKinney had to move for that one.
It was straight at him, wasn't it? Big moments. Callum Parkinson. He's been hit for a couple of sixes. Apart from that, has been very, very economical. Sutherland clips this out into the leg side. And well attacked in the deep. Didn't pick it up cleanly, but definitely prevented a second run.
He read that straight away. Even before Sutherland had hit that, he could tell that was going to be dropped into that pocket.
Yeah, we talked about Sutherland being a good mover. McKinney is definitely in that category as well for a big man. On the books at Sunderland as a youngster for his football. Oh, I like that. Oh, has Parkinson run him out? He has. That is magnificent awareness from Callum Parkinson, who runs off and celebrates with everybody and anybody that's interested. And Jimmy Neesham picks him up. Super awareness. Adam Lythe belts away the bowling marker at the top of the run-up. He's going to dine on that for a while. Callum Parkinson. Really clever work from the spinner. Lythe backing up just too far. Parkinson with the reverse flick back onto the stumps. Getting the huge breakthrough of Adam Lythe out. Run out Callum Parkinson for 38. Second wicket of the over. 91 for 5. He's a man for the big moments, Rob. You've got to love that. And what a celebration.
Absolutely. Pulled out the Alan Shearer celebration there. Quick hand, quick thinking from the Bolton Wanderers fan. 91 for 5, and after a slightly tardy over from Neesham, Parkinson has backed up his overseas really nicely here.
Jordan Thompson, the new man to the crease. Huge responsibility on these two now. Both very, very capable all-rounders. 91 for 5.
Ooh.
Will Sutherland making sure he's not out of his crease there as Parkinson does brilliantly, and what a way to finish the spell. 2 for 29 for him, and the run out in that over. It's 92 for 5 to finish the 12th. I think we're going to see more spin here. Nathan Souter back into the attack.
Absolutely. Fizzed in from Southern, just gently played out to Neesham at deep mid wicket. That Yorkshire flag that was flying in the Dufferbet stand has been put away. Durham look to do the double over the White Rose. into the 13th over. I'll track down. Just glance over to the scoreboard, Ash. Nathan Salters in his third over only just ticked over to 10 runs conceded.
Yeah. He's been such a good signing for Durham. A man from the west in Sydney. That's great fielding. Absolutely outstanding fielding in the deep.
Is that McKinney again?
Actually, I better not be too nice to him.
I think it was down at long on.
Just got rid of it quickly, threw off balance.
That might be a boundary. For Yorkshire it will be. Just slightly fuller from Salter, trying to get that edge. Alex Lees is in at a catching cover. Just played nicely along the ground to his left-hand side, and Yorkshire and Thompson pick up a boundary, but...
Yeah, he's just trying to cut the angle there, Alex Lees, and Thompson sliced that away nicely, beat him to his left. Well wide of mid-off for 4.
Well stopped by Folks on the edge of that circle. Going to push for 2. And they'll get 2, but they need more boundaries and just 1 off that Nathan Salter over. The 100 up for Yorkshire off 13 overs. They require a further 93 to win.
If they were only a couple of wickets down, you would have to say that they're still in this game, but you'd have to feel that 93 off 42 is a pretty big ask when half your team is back in the dugout, especially with all your big guns.
What a night.
It's glorious, isn't it? It's always like that in the northeast.
I like this change. Zach Folks in.
It's whipped away nicely by Will Sutherland. Potts getting to the ball quickly and releasing quickly. Keeps it to 1. Good buzz around the Banks Homes Riverside. Rivals night. Salter still has 1 over. And there's 2 from Neesham and 2 from Potts. And Folks has 1 more, so Durham may well go through with just using the 5 bowlers tonight.
Slower ball. Back of the hand. Oh, really skid along the floor on a bounce to Robinson.
Yeah, sun just about given way. Still beautiful sunset. Lights just starting to have an effect here. Just another single, not hurting Durham at the moment. Yorkshire. They need boundaries. As that run rate now climbs to 14 per over required. And that will continue to rise really quickly, especially if they're just scoring singles. There's been 4 in a row in this Zach Folks over. Good comeback from him. This one's short and it's cloth, and I don't think it's going to carry to McKinney. It'll just be another single. One ball remaining in over number 14. 106 for 5 on the board. Can folks close the over out without going for a boundary? That would be another big win for Durham. It's whipped away. And the answer to that question is no, because that's a lovely shot from Jordan Thompson. It was full, it was straight, and it was whipped away nicely for 4. A much needed boundary for the White Rose. 110 for 5 after 14. Need 84 from the last 36 balls.
Yeah, just a tad too straight from folks, but overall not a lot of damage done in that over with
It's
that being
still
the
not
only
enough,
boundary.
is it? When you go and need at 14s, it's gone for what, 9 that over.
Salto is going to bowl out here, unsurprisingly, from the Lumley end. Brilliant figures so far, 1 for 17 from his 3. Sutherland in his sights.
Oh,
Who tries to
Q end?
heave him into next week, but scraps the toe end and just about evades Ollie Robinson behind the stumps. That's going to be out. You can't keep the spin twins out the game. Callum Parkinson takes the catch off Nathan Salter. Thompson trying to clear the ropes. That one came off the Q end. It's all smiles in the Durham camp as they pick up their 6th wicket.
Yeah, they don't get more simple than that. Salter defeating Thompson, who needs to go at 14, 15 runs and over, looking for the big shot off the leg spinner, knowing it's his last over. Gets a top edge. And it lobs into the lap of Callum Parkinson. You can't keep him out of the game at the moment. Thompson goes for 13. 111 now for 6.
Don Bess, new batter at the crease. Really fizzed in from South, who then fizzes off after.
Oh, a bit of a
delivery.
mix-up. Gone
Surely.
by a mile. Gone by a mile. Talk about mix-up. Gone for all money.
Yorkshire sinking without trace in the Battle of the North. Durham look like they're going to pick up 2 wins in just under a week against the White Rose.
Don Bess has to go. Will Rhodes, the fielder, 112 for 7 now. All going wrong for the White Rose. All going right for the home team here on Rivals Night. Durham closing in on victory. And what would be a big victory in relation to the table.
Good throw from Will Rhodes and good take from Ollie Robinson as well. Taking it cleanly and then running back to effect the run out. Jaffa Chauhan is the new batter for Yorkshire, who are really now clutching at straws as to how they're going to pull something out of this game. Durham firmly in control.
Oh. It's probably Salter's worst ball I've ever seen him bowl, that one. Flattened down the leg side, will be a couple of wides. Yeah, win tonight for Durham will take them into 2nd place and open up a 2-game cushion to the Bears in 5th. Can Durham kick on in the 2nd block of the T20 to get a home quarter-final? That would be lovely, rather than having to travel to somewhere like the Oval like we did last year. This game isn't done yet. However, still some work to do for the men in yellow.
If they could wrap this up within 20 overs before the 20 overs expire, would be a nice boost to the net run rate as well, which
it could be crucial. The net run rate's pretty healthy at the moment.
Every little helps, though.
Absolutely. The Steelbacks have the healthiest net run rate, but a win tonight would probably push them close. Oh, wow. How's that missed? How was that missed the stumps? That ends Souter's spell. Another great night for Nathan Souter. 2 for 22. DJ Wiggy ringing out the crowd favourites. And Rob Rush's favourites. So good.
Just a 1 over for folks. Matthew Potts gets a switch of ends to the Finkel end. Good Yorker to start.
Good pace that from Potts. 1 for 13.
What have the Durham got? 17 minutes before the cut-off.
Umpire just having a word with him there on his way back to his mark. Umpire Pratt. Matthew Potts didn't look one bit interested in what he had to say.
Short ball pulled. It's going to run for 4. I think Potts maybe slipped in the delivery stride.
Just having a look at the footholds there.
Yes, not looking entirely comfortable as the England international.
Push through it. He's a tough boy. You're right, though. He doesn't look amused with that at all. Won't stop him charging in for Durham, though.
Good. Slower ball. Run it off.
You'll be right.
$119 for 7. Yorkshire. Still a further 75 to win, and we're now rapidly approaching the stage, Ash, where every ball has to go to the fence.
This is probably the hardest time of bat as well. It's twilight. The lights haven't totally taken over from the natural light. This is crossed in the air. This will take some catching.
Run out.
I tell you what, good options again. McKinney couldn't quite get there. Identified the end as Sutherland was looking for 2. Would have been an absolute disastrous second run.
Would have been suicidal.
He would have been run out either end, I think. Chohan going absolutely nowhere. Put the anchors on for the right reasons. Chester and River down in front of us enjoying the night. 2 Durham mascots.
That's
this is pulled
high.
away. This will be caught, surely. Oh, no. Manages to fall in the gap again. We've seen so many of them today.
Be another single, 121. The scoreboard away to our left-hand side, just lagging behind a little bit.
Yeah, we've had a few issues tonight with regards to the power and various other things. Apologies for that. We hope you've still enjoyed the coverage provided here. Catch. Oh, that would have been an incredible catch from Parkinson. That absolutely flew off the reverse ramp from Sutherland. And Potts is just struggling there, having a go at Parkinson in a very, very jovial manner. 123 for 7, 71 from 24 balls. You have to say the riding is on the wall here for Yorkshire. Someone can turn this air conditioner off. It's far too cold in here. I'm pleased you can't see the floor in the studio. I've got rubbish everywhere in here, from water bottles to clothes to coat hangers. Disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Oh, Jimmy Neesham takes all the air out of that one. Just beats the off stump. Clever bowling, and it's been clever cricket from Durham today. Played with real street smarts, know how their home ground works. They're really comfortable defending here. Groans from the crowd.
In the grand scheme of things, it probably won't matter in terms of result, Ash, but definitely would have wanted to take at least one of the last 4 or 5 opportunities that they've created, Durham.
Yeah.
Just little things.
I think on the whole they'll be very, very pleased with their night's work, but yeah, you're right, those little moments. Can you create a little highlight reel for yourself? Can you create a big moment for the crowd? It's come in tonight. It's nicely carved away by Sutherland for 4. The good thing from a Durham point of view is they've been just about played the perfect game. They've had 3 50 partnerships to get to that big total of 193. And Yorkshire have struggled to be in the game. Got off to a good start, but you always knew that when Durham could get through the middle overs, they were going to take pace off the ball. They were going to bring their spinners into play, and it was always going to be tough for Yorkshire. And it's going to get even tougher now as Will Sutherland's poles are removed. Jimmy the Beast Neesham takes another one. And if there was a mirror there, he'd be standing admiring himself right now.
You miss, I hit. Will Sutherland missed. Jimmy Neesham hit. And Durham just about wrapping up this Derby Day victory.
He's been great with bat and ball today, Jimmy Neesham. Picks up his first in style. Rearranging the furniture. Yorkshire 128 for 8. Dan Moriarty, the new batter, having to face Jimmy Neesham round the wicket. Slams that into the pitch, and Moriarty plays it quite nicely down to third man and will get off the mark. Unfortunately for Yorkshire, they need a lot more than singles as that run rate required jumps to over 20 per over. .65 still to go. Slower ball. Hammered and juggled, wrestled and caught by the skipper, who will absolutely love every part of that. Neesham has 2. Durham have 9. And rivals night is Durham's delight. It's nearly all over. Durham are now 1 wicket away from closing in on a Vitality Blast double over Yorkshire, having picked up victory on Sunday down at York. And they're closing in now on a big victory here, which, as you mentioned earlier, Rob, will really impact their net run rate as well. So it's a healthy win.
Yeah, definitely. It's not, as we mentioned, it's still quite a healthy net run rate at the moment, but you'll always take a little extra to that. Will O'Rourke.
Give her a little boost.
Will O'Rourke is the last man out to the middle with defeat for Yorkshire pretty much all but confirmed. Matthew Potts is going to bowl out from the Finkel end, and what this has been, Ash, has been a really disciplined performance in the field from Durham. It's easy to potentially, when you've got runs on the board, to potentially let it slip a little bit, let your standards drop a tiny amount, and then that can snowball into bigger effects. But Alex Lee's got his bowlers in line pretty much from the get-go. Yorkshire got off to a quick start, but after that Durham have asserted control.
Just one wicket required for victory here at the Banks Homes Riverside. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage tonight on Fan Code in India and around the world. Just a final reminder, if you can give us a little like and a click, Andy Sixsmith gets a wage rise for every subscriber. But in all seriousness, we'll keep you up to date with everything Durham. All the interviews, all the live streams.
Hopefully with no power cuts this time.
Oh, that's a big swing and a miss from Will O'Rourke. Thanks again to the lads behind the scenes. Brilliant camera work. Managed to cause a massive power cut, but you know, we can't have everything here. And what a beautiful sight we have here in Chesley Street.
That's high. Will Rhodes does the job. Durham Derby Day delight. Matthew Potts picks up his second. Yorkshire all out for 130 inside 17 and a half overs. It's the Durham double over Yorkshire. And that ends the first round of Vitality T20 Blast games. 8 played for Durham, 5 victories, a stark contrast to the start they had last year. And they'll go into the County Championship on Sunday with a lot of momentum at their backs. 193 for Yorkshire to chase, 194 for them to win. They've fallen well short here on 130.
Yeah, huge win for Durham. Will O'Rourke, the last man to fall, caught off the bowling of Matthew Potts. 130 all out, victory by 63 runs in absolute fine style from the men from Durham. Rivals night, like we said earlier, double delight for Durham, getting over Yorkshire twice now in the space of a week. And we're going to hand to Andy and Rob in the Daffy News studio to wrap it up here tonight.
Ash, thank you very, very much. Top work as ever from you, fella. Look, it had everything, didn't it? It had a high total from Durham, had an excellent bowling display, and not even a power cut could stop the D's doing the double over Yorkshire, and 2 wins within the space of just a few days to take them up to second in the Vitality T20 Blast North Group. Joined by Rob Rush, who was scooted over for his commentary position to the Daffy News studio. I mean, let's face it, it's only 1.5 meters. It's not exactly doing you a disservice, Rob. Look, what a night for Durham.
Oh, absolutely. Kind of the inch-perfect performance, really. Bar those little blips at the end, not taking the entirety of the chances, but ultimately you set 193, you bowl the opposition out for 130 inside 18 overs. You don't really complain about that, do you?
It always looked like it was going to be too much for Yorkshire. Despite a quick start from them, they were soon throttled backwards.
Yeah, they got off to that quick start of the first overs. Then Matthew Potts brought in to replace Callum Parkinson, just went for that one boundary off his first over. Really kind of brought the tone back. And then, as I'm sure we'll come on to, the Spin Twins just keep doing the business for Durham in the T20 Blast. Those guys were phenomenal. They helped control the middle overs, made it easier for the change bowlers like Neesham, like Potts, to come back and wrap up the innings.
We'll have to copyright that phrase, the Spin Twins, unless you've nicked it, in which case tell me now before we copyright it.
My copyright.
It's yours, that's fine, that's all right. Look, whatever's your copyright is ours here on Durham Live, Rob, I'm afraid to say. Look, we need to discuss one thing, and it's got nothing to do with the cricket whatsoever.
I know where this is going.
No, you don't. No, I'm going to come to that later. The power cut. The power cut. I mean, honestly, it gave our poor head producer, camera up, he does everything, Ross. The biggest fright of his life. We were sat in the production. Suddenly there's this huge pop. Everything goes off. The scoreboards go off. The live stream goes down. Ash and Rob are looking through the window going, what do we do? Thankfully, not much happened during the Power Cup, but I've certainly not seen anything like that during my career.
I think I can say that's the first time I've been on commentary when there's been a Power Cup. It's not ideal as well when it's during a T20 game and everything's happening, but fortunately Durham kind of kept it under wraps while we were off air, and Yorkshire weren't able to get away, and that was kind of the start of Durham regaining control.
Well, thank you very much to all the players for doing precisely nothing during the power cut, so we didn't really have to recap it that heavily. Although I have to be honest, I was urging Ash Thorpe to turn around and say, well, we've only been gone 10 minutes, but Yorkshire balled out in that 10 minutes. He didn't, thankfully. He's professional, unlike me. Looking at it, yes, the Spin Twins. They're the ones who are going to take the headlines here. Parky and Sout, I mean, we did big them up in the interval as Ash Thorpe crawls underneath the camera. What is going on Durham Live tonight, folks? We've seen Ash Thorpe crawling, we've seen power cuts, and we've seen Rob Rush denying that golf is a sport. See you later, Ash. Give us a wave. See you later, mate. He's off to do the post-match. One day we're going to have professionalism in the Daffy News studio.
It's not tonight.
It's not tonight. It's over. It's almost over, and we're just going to forget all about it. But yeah, the Spin Twins, Parky and Sout, they looked good out there, and Yorkshire just couldn't get him away.
Nah, absolutely. I mean, I looked up, Souts was in the middle of his third over and hadn't even gone for double-figure runs yet.
Yeah.
He certainly didn't fly under the radar. It was really tight, really economical, really making sure that Yorkshire couldn't get him away, and then that allows Cal to be naturally more aggressive with his bowling, and, it just gives Leesy so many options with the field, Yes, you want to have your fielders back, but you can maybe move one from a saving one position into a catching position, trying to pick up those wickets. And yeah, those two, they just work so well in tandem. Obviously, Parky normally bowls one over in the power play, maybe a bit more. Yeah. And then Souts is your change bowler immediately after the power play's done. But yeah, tonight, Yorkshire just had no answer for them, even with all that top order experience.
Not just his bowling, Callum Parkinson, his fielding as well. I mean, that's some incredible awareness. It was Adam Lyth, wasn't it, that he ran out? And a big wicket as well. When you get David Milan, you get Johnny Bairstow, you're looking at getting Adam Lyth out, who's just starting to kind of build his innings. And then that incredible bit of field and some footwork from him, some artwork on him.
He was the one that Durham really needed, as you say. They got rid of Milan. Bairstow was certainly not happy that he wasn't, was he? That he skipped past a straight one from Nathan Salter. But Lyth had I think Jimmy Neesham had been brought back and hadn't quite found his line right. So Lyth was just trying to put some pressure back on Durham, and just Parky able to pull that off. I mean, he will not shut up about that probably for the rest of the season, and why should he?
Well, I'll tell you what, he shouldn't. And he loves a good celebration, doesn't he, Parky? He absolutely wheeled away, high-fiving, arm in the air, akin to Alan Shearer, even though he's a Bolton Wanderers fan, isn't he, Parky? Incredible to see, jumping into the arms of Jimmy Neesham. I think, not Jimmy Neesham.
Yeah, it was
Jimmy Neesham.
It was the beast.
Surprised that he's going to get a bear hug off Jimmy Neesham for that, but a heck of a celebration too.
Yeah, he's a great character as Parky. Ever since he's come up to the northeast, he's just fitted into dressing room like a glove. We just spend a little bit of time around him as well, and you learn very quickly. He's a great character, can crack a joke, can take a joke. Really good, and really glad that we've got him up in the northeast, and everyone else has to play against him, and we don't.
Well, speaking of a joke, let's get serious for a second. And I've got a few things to take up with you, Rob. Now, before today on Durham Live, I quite liked you. And then we've heard some strange old things on that commentary from you today. Golf, not a sport. Nope. Doesn't watch Game of Thrones.
Nope.
And also you started dancing to Sweet Caroline. Well, there's
are you telling me you weren't dancing to Sweet Caroline?
I was not. No, I was appalled at DJ Wiggy for playing that song over and over and over again.
Missing out, man. Missing
Rob,
out, Andy.
Honestly, a deep sigh from myself. No, seriously speaking, look, a great night for Durham. Let's look at the overall context for it as well, because we talked pre-match about the fact that the Rapids, the defeat was disappointing in midweek, but to bounce back like that within 48 hours, to crush Yorkshire, albeit with only 2 wins all season, but in the manner that they did, well, the Danders are going to be up again, aren't they, Durham?
Oh, absolutely. This is, as I mentioned right there on the back end of commentary, this is a stark contrast to last year where Durham had a very poor start to the Blast campaign, really put themselves on the back foot, managed to get through to the knockouts, but this just makes it so much easier coming out of this first group of games, winning 5, second in the group, very healthy net run rate as well. this is sort of what Ryan Campbell has spoken about for this group. The Red Bull performances have been there over the last 2.5 years now, and the whiteboard is now starting to catch up to it. Bringing in guys like Jimmy Neesham and Zach Folks. Folks didn't have his best night tonight, but didn't need to because other people picked up the slack. And that's what you need in a team. You need to have those options. Yes, you've got your guys you're looking to, like your Matthew Potts and your Ben Rain, who missed out tonight, and your Zach Folks. But this is where your guys like an Alex Lees, Graham Clark, Jimmy Neesham, this is where the whole team really comes into it. I mean, Neesham at the back end of that, back end with the bat, just everything he touched really turned to gold. I think ended up with a strike rate of just over 200. And it's just, it sends shivers down the opposition spine, really. It gives opposition captains nightmares about, oh, great, we got Graham Clark out for 53. Oh, Jimmy Neesham's walking out next. Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's looking beastie.
Yeah, exactly. How do you deal with that? And so, Northants will sit top of the group after this first block of games before we go back into Red Bull action, but Durham have definitely laid out a few statements of their own.
It's a canny position to be in, and I know it's not lost on any Durham fans out there, the lack of home quarterfinals that we've had. I mean, Ash mentioned it on commentary. Last time out, had to go down to Surrey, which is never an easy ground to go to, certainly not if you're a Durham player or a Durham fan. Obviously, there's still a way to go. We're back into county championship action, of course, for the next 2 weeks before there's more T20 Blast action. But we're in a very, very good position now, not just to qualify, but hopefully, fingers crossed, get a home quarter-final.
It just makes it that much easier if you can play at home and have that, not only the home support behind you, but conditions you're familiar with, pitches you're familiar with. Hopefully we won't have the same issue we had with overseas availability last year. Yep. Maybe some very high quality players are able to come back into this side and help propel us at the back end of the tournament. But as you say, it's not lost on any of us that are involved with Durham that not only the relative lack of T20 success, but having that home quarter final, that's what I guarantee you all the boys in the dressing room will be. They won't be too focused on that. It will be in their minds of, right, we know we're in a very strong position here, and it's now just not getting complacent as we make a switch back to Red Bull cricket for the next couple of weeks. It's about, right, when we come back into this blast mode, it's acknowledging they're in a strong position and then making sure they're able to capitalise on that and bounce back into winning form.
Absolutely. Exciting times ahead for Durham for the rest of his season. And Rob, apart from golf, apart from Game of Thrones and apart from Sweet Caroline, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here in the Daft News studio and of course on commentary as well. Thank you very, very much. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you as well, of course, to the absolute dynamo that is Ash Thorpe, who was here, there and everywhere when he wasn't crawling underneath the cameras to make his hasty exit to go and interview half the Durham team as well. And thank you to Lauren from the Durham Foundation for the chat pre-match as well. Hopefully they've been continuing the wonderful work that they've been doing over the last few years, certainly today on Rivals Day. And thank you to you guys for watching, wherever you've been in the world, whether you've been watching us exclusively live on Fancode in India. It's been an absolute cracker. This double header on Rivals Day ends with Durham doing the double over the Yorkshire Vikings. Well, that's rivalries wrapped up, scores settled. The D's drive on in the Vitality T20 Blast. From me, Andy Sixsmith, from all of us here on Durham Live, thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Lovely stuff.